What's up? Let's kick it off with GU for the outlook today. Obviously, we're internally bullish, quite clearly, very aggressive. That momentum is coming out of the mitigation of the entirety of this area, which is more or less the decisional of that 4 hour break. You can view both this or this area as the decisional, but this area is proving to be more so the decisional area at the moment. So, yeah, really strong reaction off there terms of what I want to do with it right now, look, I'm happy to continue buying it. We are coming towards the extreme of that 15-minute bearish leg. I don't actually think it's going to hold, just given the momentum. It doesn't look like this range here doesn't give me complex pullback. That more so shows continuation. If we look at, especially as well, the momentum that we had on this bullish leg, the slow retracement, and then the speed of this push, it's starting to move quite quickly again. Um, so I'm happy to just continue following with the bullish momentum until we get to the mitigation. I've just got an hourly point marked out here. It's not too big. It's like 20, yeah, 27 pips. I'm happy to sell when we mitigate it. Look, ideally we come up and mitigate the 15-minute area. That would be more so like my ideal scenario. But I'm happy to buy up to it. So what we do have is internal break, mitigation, break, retest, push, liquidity generated. I'd be happy to buy just straight off the inducement of this point. Now, I don't actually want to come too far down here. I don't actually like this internal range because this demand area is really, really average. However, this is a valid retest, and it is the low below Asia, and it does follow momentum. So I'd be happy to buy through that. I'm not interested in selling it as I want to get the mitigation of this area. I actually think this area that we're in here is a smart money trap because it's obviously more or less retest of that internal break. So it really shouldn't hold. So I'm looking for that to play out to induce this retest to target the liquidity that's been generated across here. And then obviously the mitigation of that area. I'd like to be TP by the time we get up here, or at least, the inducement of that high. And then, yeah, we'll wrap it up there and see if potentially there might be a sell reversal that we can catch. So we'll see how this presents. The price action isn't the greatest, which we would expect when we get these aggressive pushes. So we'll just monitor it and see how we go with doing something off of that. We'll go to EU next before I break down my AU thoughts. EU, to be honest, I kind of have next to nothing for my outlook. Again, quite clearly very, very bullish. I do see this as a new 15-minute leg, although we are obviously still inside this leg, which is still inside of this leg. You very well definitely can see this more so as like a 4 hour. This is an hourly. That is your hourly leg. So I am still going to be treating it as if we are working inside of this leg here. Your other ranges are obviously far, far bigger. We can tighten it up, which I'm happy to do like this. Work with that. Work with this. And have my ranges positioned like that. I still think this range here holds a lot of weight. The only reason the 15-minute was adjusted to this range was just because it's obviously the 15-minute time frame. That was just becoming way too large, but very, very relevant for an hourly. So I do see this area here as having good potential. We are actually inside of a 4 hour and a 2 hour supply currently. So this point here may give price a reasonable pushback down. However, it is so extremely bullish. I don't really want to sell until price tells me that it's ready to sell. And all we've got at the moment is a couple of just really crappy 5-minute bearish breaks. Yeah, so you've kind of got break, extreme, potential break or retest, mitigation, potential sell off. You may find that you get something like smart money trap. Decisional of internal break. Smart money trap in here. Hasn't necessarily got to it yet. There's something with the, yeah, okay, there you go. Smart money trap. Potentially confirmed. Although there's your break, may just have retested. However, there's 1 minute retest there, which you can see that it's induced. It's now broken again, retested, induced retest. This is a very internal read, but just following along with how price is shaping up, that was probably actually worth the limit. You'd have it set there. And the issue with that limit is just so low in the range. So if you think about that's where we expect price to potentially buy from, you only 1 to 2. So yeah, bit of an interesting one. I will leave it on there just because I'm curious to see how that plays out. No way you can sell it now, I don't believe. I think if you're going to sell it, you'd have to already be in it and you'd be break even when you push past this low, just because you can come into that 10-minute point. But yeah, you've got good liquidity. Like that trade's actually not too bad, really. It's not actually too bad at all. You could have even been in a little bit earlier on that leg there, which more or less is the same entry. You just got a way bigger stop loss. So yeah, we'll see. Look, we'll see if that does end up doing anything because that's yeah, it's quite an interesting little entry just there. Um yeah, see if it ends up pushing past that. Curious to see. We can journal that as probably a missed trade. See if it goes 1 to 3. Sweet. All right, cool. But yeah, bit of an interesting one. Just so bullish. The main risk with that is you're obviously very internal and you're very against momentum. So yeah, I do want to buy it when we sweep this low here. So ideally we keep having this slow sell off and we just generate more liquidity along here like that, and then I can just boom, push it up and target all of that. Yeah, sweet. So we'll leave EU there alone. AU. Now, as we were mentioning on AU, this was looking to be an inducement. Like I was speaking about, when was that? Friday. Did end up being the case, just induced and broke high. So I now actually see this extreme weekly area, which we were speaking about if I go out to a higher time frame, as having high probability of being a break of a smart money trap because of the momentum really in this whole 4 hour leg and how we came into that area there. So yeah, I want to sell it because we've had a really good inducement, but ultimately I will be looking for price to buy through this whole area here. I'm actually happy to just start working with the current momentum and more or less disregard that area. Um, so what we've got right now is a break to the downside. We've retested it. We've induced the retest. We've broken to the downside again, but we haven't really retested to confirm this new break just yet. So what I'm looking to see is price work its way up. I will need something like this, an inducement to the downside, a generation of liquidity, and then come up into it because I do need some internal retest formed, given the fact that I haven't got anything in the way of external retest here. So I do need something to be able to confirm that range, but I am happy to sell from this internal supply or the inducement of that internal supply. If I don't get internal retest generated here, I'm going to be way less opposed to be actually working with this. I'll be more so looking for the inducement of it to then sell off from there, or even the inducement of that high as well. Of that, what that then creates us is this point as retest of that 15-minute external break. So we do just need price to develop from here with AU. I am also happy to buy from this area here. if we can also, same sort of thing, generate some liquidity down to it. If we do get here, unfortunately, it's either going to be a New York play or a tomorrow setup, which I'm perfectly fine with it being tomorrow as long as it doesn't play out in New York, then I'm not stressed. If it does play in New York, that would just be unfortunate. But yeah, that's all I'm really looking for on AU. So we'll just see where it gets to first. The DXY has broken 15-minute external low. There you go. There's EU playing it for you. That's beautiful. We've induced that point. So here's our 15-minute external break. Cool. There's your decisional area up there. So that's cool. That's great. Got a nice decisional. In terms of the DXY and where it's going from here and what we're targeting, it's looking like bearish continuations, in all honesty. Very much so looking like bearish continuations. Happy to adjust my ranges here as well. Cool. That's obviously the retest of that 4 hour break, which we have induced, and that's what caused the sell-off. So yeah, look, the XY, it does make sense to have a bit of a retracement up, but ultimately there's not really anything pushing it up right now. Like that is good retest that we've swept there. So that may give us a bit of a push. But ultimately right now we just need to wait and see where we're going to go and what we're going to do. Yeah, not going to be too aggressive on anything today. I do just want to allow price to have this bit of a move that it's giving at the moment and chill out with it, let it do its thing. We've also got EG reacting from our extreme, likely to have a bit of a sell-off from here, which will have GU holding priority over EU when it comes to our divergence, which should really, help G's got the better structure, so it'll drive EU up. You would be break even right now on that EU sell, which is running reasonably nice. You're pretty close to your 1-to-1 already. And yeah, going to sit our hands and be patient with this one right now. Price action could be better, and there's better days coming. Just where we've got more structure to be able to work with. Looking at news, I'll have a look at both. FX Street, 10th. Just got news tonight, nothing crazy. Again, news tonight. Cool, nothing to be concerned about here with news. Sweet guys, so we'll wrap it up there and I will speak to you all shortly.